Hey everyone, it's your old friend Google, and I know we're not very happy with all of the Android tablets right now, so we've decided to make our own in-house. It's not gonna have any of those problems that old Android tablets have because we designed it from the ground up to be a good Android tablet. Well, hey, it's Google, your old friend again, and I know that most of you were not too happy with the Pixel C, which is why we've redesigned the tablet from the ground up with the Pixel Slate, which is just so insanely good, you're gonna feel great spending $1,500 on this thing. Trust me, it's not gonna have any of the issues that the Pixel C had. This is the future of Android tablets. Hey, remember me? It's Google. I know that so many of you were disappointed by the Pixel Slate, which is why we're happy to announce that next year we are re-entering the tablet space with a Google-designed Android tablet from the ground up. It's not gonna have any of the issues that the Pixel Slate had, I swear. And you're gonna like this one. It's gonna be different this time. It really is. I can guarantee you that. Hey, I know you guys didn't like that last one, but what if I told you it was far more expensive, much smaller, but it could fit in your pocket because it folds now? Please, for the love of God, do not buy an iPad. I don't know what else to try anymore. Perhaps it's 3 times the charm when it comes to Google attempting tablets, although I do want to give them some credit. It feels like they're trying something a little bit different. They're not falling for the complete definition of insanity. And it appears that with Google re-entering the tablet space, they're trying to figure out what the tablet can be a great secondary device for, you know? Apple is kind of already having an identity crisis with the iPad of like, well, I guess it's a slightly bigger phone, but also it has the M2 chip and the performance is great, but you still should really buy a Mac if you want to do anything intensive. And Google has tried multiple times, as you guys know, to just have a dedicated standalone tablet, and that didn't go well. But they're having success with the Pixel 7, so they're trying to find a way to basically convert your smartphone into a tablet via folding designs. And they've had a lot of success with the Nest Hub products, which I understand, honestly. Like, the smart speakers have done very, very well, but not the more expensive ones. But you tend to get a lot more people comfortable spending more money on their smart speakers when they have dedicated displays, which are good for just the basics. You know, if you're looking up a recipe, then it shows it on the display. If you're watching a YouTube video or having a video call, having a smart speaker that just has a little bit of a visual element to go along with it seems to be pretty popular, and Google's had a lot of success with that. So they're like, how can we make a tablet that basically turns into a Nest Hub by docking it with this smart speaker accessory, and that will power the tablet, charge it, and also give it a really great sound system. So in theory, that's not a terrible idea. If anything, I'm kind of surprised Apple hasn't thought of that yet. But part of the reason I don't think Apple has is because it does kind of create this awkward stopgap tablet where, okay, if you're trying to make it a Nest Hub device that has a detachable screen, then you have to go pretty cheap, right? Because all the best-selling Nest Hubs are, you know, typically sub $400. So that means with the price of the speaker and everything, you have to make the tablet pretty cheap. And that probably means not that great a camera, not that fast a chip, probably a 60 hertz display, and the fact that it has the rounded back, based on all the renders they've shown us of the Pixel tablet, means to me it's probably not going to have that much great or optimized stylus support, and because it has white bezels, that means that they're okay with it being ugly, because all of these big tech companies' motivation for white bezels is, well, it helps match in with the white drywall, and white bezel devices fit in with the kitchen environment better, but that does make it a lot worse for media consumption. That's why Apple scrapped all the white bezels. At least from the iPad line, it's one of the few things they've done right with the iPad hardware as of lately. So overall, it means that the tablet itself is pretty subpar with its specifications, and if it's meant to be used as a Nest Hub a lot of the time, then why are people gonna opt for this over just a regular Nest Hub? So if you go in the opposite direction and say, let's make it a more premium tablet with 120 hertz and a good processor and a good display and amazing stylus support, well, then now it's a Nest Hub product that's going to cost $600, $700, which people aren't going to be willing to spend that much when ultimately it's still running Android at the end of the day, and the Play Store is just fundamentally limited when it comes to those bigger screens. So Google's probably trying to figure out right now how to make this delicate balance of it's not too expensive, but the hardware is also not too crappy so that there's someone who's happy buying this type of tablet, but trying to imagine them getting that balance right between software intuitiveness smoothness and responsiveness and reasonable pricing. I don't have a lot of faith with Google based on the launch of the Pixel Watch being pretty bumpy and their track record with previous tablets being pretty bad. That makes me think this is likely not going anywhere. So that brings us to the other approach, which is basically asking the Pixel smartphone team to handle tablets by making their own version of a Galaxy Z Fold. So it's a regular phone folded up, but it's a mini tablet when unfolded. And there's been a lot of rumors about Google entering the tablet space for the past few years. The latest round of reports are claiming it's going to be like an $1,800 device, basically with the same hardware as a Pixel 7 Pro. But geez, basically $1,000 extra for the folding feature, which I'm sorry. I've tried folding phones myself, and while they're technically impressive and the tech community goes gaga for them, I don't ultimately find them to be a tablet alternative type experience because the vast majority of tablet sales are well over 8 inches in the screen size, whereas folding phones tend to be sub 8 inches. And because they have to be so constrained with the aspect ratio to get it to fold up and fit in your pocket, the screen real estate doesn't really unlock that much more usability. It's basically just slightly more usable split screen multitasking, but honestly, from a lot of people I've seen that have bought the Z Folds, they tend to keep using them in the folded up orientation because they get tired of having to open it up every time they take it out of their pocket. So I don't really think either direction of Google tablet is really going to take off or see much success. I even think that the Pixel Fold is going to be too expensive and not offer that much more than a regular Pixel 7 Pro would for a lot more of the price. And that's going to result in most people going back to buying the regular smartphones. And when it comes to the tablet docking accessory, while technically it's cool, providing a great base station that it can dock to and have a great sound system and hopefully have some kind of center stage like feature so that you can keep your video calls going while you're busy in the kitchen. Ultimately, I think Google's strength is still going to be on reasonably priced flagship smartphones that have great cameras and decent battery lives and good displays, but anytime Google tries to expand their ecosystem, it tends to belly flop. I hope I'm wrong, though. I would like to see some of their tablets get off the ground and actually have consistent upgrades that people are looking forward to, especially when Apple's been so lazy with the tablet game as of late. It would be great to have some legitimate competition, and while I've ranted on Pixels many times in the past, I still think that Google is the company that has the best shot at actually competing with Apple's ecosystem. They suck with the execution, but, you know, they're in a ripe position where they own and operate Android. They're designing their own custom silicon. They're making their own hardware for phones, watches, tablets. And if they just put a bit more of a pro emphasis on Chrome OS, then I think you could actually start to make an ecosystem that could rival Apple's, but that's all dependent on the good execution, which they've never been very good at. So, which tablet approach do you think makes the most sense? Does it involve converting their smartphones into tablets or converting their Nest Hubs into tablets? All your best guesses. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. This is your Option here, and I'll see you all in the next one.